Hello and welcome to the debate. My name is Naila Shuja. Now, today we are delving into the discussions of the implications of PTI's political dharnas, which are sit-in protests, and the disruptions that they cause not only at the sites of the protests but also across the Pakistan as a whole, and along with the broader economic consequences for the society itself. Now, as well as Fahd Waheed, who is an economist. So, Fahd, coming to you, carrying forward what Farooq has stated. This hell-bent objective of creating disruption, chaos, and anarchy. Help me understand why they're so hell-bent on causing this harm to society.
I think the real answer lies in not just populism, but also it's a question of nationalism. These people that come out to protest, they don't understand the magnitude. They don't actually they aren't really, I think, educated, or I don't think they are very well informed of the situation of how Pakistan is, thriving through these hard times. And we have been for the past 12 years. Every time there's a huge event and a success event or a positive event or a positive image event of Pakistan to the world, these political parties have some other means to ruin it. But at the same time, we have to togetherly work at the nationalism part of it. Having said that, it's very important to understand the gravity of the situation. That recently we just passed through a huge event, a positive event, that was the SCO summit, and the same threat was lurking. So yes, as Farooq has also mentioned in the same context, the fear of living in Islamabad is now taking its toll. So nevertheless, as a running economy and stakeholders of Islamabad, we have very high hopes that the government is going to work through it. I did some research work on the dharnas and the protests and the sit-ins for the past 2 months, and I've been seeing that this is becoming a trend rather than becoming something of political interest. It's more of hanging over the economy, because nobody from the political party is losing anything, but the economy of Pakistan, the stakeholders, the private investors, the local residents of Islamabad are losing their money. It's not the political party. So the political parties and these supporters have to understand the day they come out for a protest in Islamabad, there's millions of kids that are out of school that day. There's millions of people that go home without a pay that day. So that has to be understood as well. This is not a small thing that one day not going to school is not going to affect him, or one day's pay is not going to affect him. We live in a very I think I wouldn't really rather cater the word, but we live in a very low income society, and we have to mitigate all obstacles that come forward. The problem with the government of Pakistan has always been, whatever the government party is, the problem is, whenever there is a protest, there's not an end date to it. There's not proper agreements to it. So whenever there's, probably a protest that's supposed to end at 6 o'clock in the night, it would go up to the next day, and the government is always at stake, because the onus of security lies with the government. And these protests, given I would say, and it's a stimulus of instigating a more, I wouldn't name it, but it gives us more chances to miscellaneous and mischievous acts that can happen in such crowds. So I think the political party and the government of Pakistan at this point really and truly have to understand, because all of our chambers, all of the business community of Pakistan is now at the verge of taking things into their own hands, and we are actually thinking of staging our own discussion with the government, that if they want to have a protest, they can do their press conferences anywhere, they can do their talks anywhere, but not in the capital, not on the roads, not disrupting life as usual. Because whenever the news goes out in the other countries, it's all telling you about how Pakistan is choked. There's no more business in Pakistan for the day, and it's not easy, because even our external neighbors are not in our favor. So every time they have an idea, they'll just jump on it and badmouth Pakistan. So that is something I highly say, it's about nationalism and not just populism at this point. But we really have to cater this as a national factor, that not going out on the roads, not protesting, and not hurting our own law enforcing agencies. But at the same time, we have to understand every day of protest also not just hurts the economy, but hurts the government exchequer. the sales tax, the taxes that the government collects every day, it's also affected.
Saying. So one person's liberty should never come at the cost of another's. Now, this is a repetitive pattern that has been chosen by the PTI to win the political gains by sabotaging Pakistan's economic progress. And we know that Pakistan's government is taking the right direction, and it's trying to uplift the country and bring investment opportunities into Pakistan by inviting and welcoming foreign investors. Now, Fahd, that being said, I'd like to understand your perspective as an economist.
Well, Naila, well thought here, a beautiful question. Uh, this government in the past 3 years, I've been working very closely with them as the senior vice president of the chamber. We have seen a lot of interest being built by this government for other countries to invest into Pakistan. If you just recap 6 months ago, we had the Saudi delegation, we had the Qatar delegation, then we recently had the Prime Minister of Malaysia visit Pakistan with their delegation. These days, the Russian delegation is in Pakistan looking at investment. We had the SCO summit, hosting of SCO summit. On the sidelines, we had a lot of discussion with China on CPEC. And the same things, repetitively, as you have mentioned, they do take a toll. And I'm just going to add this to the previous conversation that I do understand what Mr. Niaz is mentioning and how Raja Faisal has responded to it. But keeping that in view.
Okay, so I'd like to thank you both for joining us.